and welcome back to the second part of this tutorial for this flower dress. As we said in the first part of this tutorial, we made these flower squares, 6 of them, and here you can see that I already connected them, and I'm going to show you at the last part of the connection how to connect them. So first of all, the most important thing to know when you need to connect the squares is that you can see what the front side and the back side is. So this is the back side, this is the front side, and make sure to always take 2 squares. The both front side should face each other, and then you're going to start to connect. And so that's what I'm going to do now at the last connection. So these are the 2 front sides that I'm going to let them face each other, and now I'm going to start connecting. And this part that I'm going to show you is same as for all the other parts. So we're going to insert our hook here at this chain space here at the corners, and then we're going to take the yarn and pull through. Now we're going to make a knot, and now we're going to start connecting. So basically we're going to insert our hook again, we're gonna yarn over, take our yarn and pull it through, and now we're basically going to make slip stitches, but we're always going to insert our hook at the back loop only of this first square, so the square that is facing you, and the front, only the front side of the loop of the stitch from the square that is on the back side. Basically we're going to take the hook, insert it here, the back loop only, and here into the front loop only. Okay, and then we're gonna take our yarn over, pull it through and make a slip stitch. So to the next one we're going to repeat the same thing. The back loop only, the front loop only, take the yarn, pull it through all the loops on the hook in one time. That's a slip stitch. So always back loop, front loop, take the yarn, pull through in one time without yarn over. And you're going to continue doing this until you reach the end of the row. So I now reached the end of the row, as you can see here, and now I reached this corner here, and I'm going to insert again our hook into this chain space, yarn over, take the yarn, and this time I'm going to just make a single crochet, and then if you are doing these other parts, you're going to just make a slip knot and cut off the yarn. In this case we're not going to cut off the yarn because we're going to continue with the dress. And what we need to do first is to turn around. So now we have again the front side. We're facing the front side, and in this way you can see the connection looks much more beautiful on this side than on the back side. That's why we're connecting like this. And now we're going, if you look at our finished dress, we're going to make first of all a border along all the 6 flower squares that we did. So basically in the first row we're going to make a full row of single crochet, and we are going to make single crochet in this way. So basically here where we have the corners, where we have this big chain space, we're always going to make 2 single crochet. So 1 and 2, and then simply 1 single crochet into each stitch. And you continue like this. Here, if you are a beginner or you just want to be sure, you can insert a stitch marker here so you know when you reached the beginning of the row. I usually also do it when I make a row of single crochets, because they're not so high, so you cannot really see the beginning of the row. I'm going to continue, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to do here at this next corner. We reached the first corner here, and we're going to simply insert our hook into the chain space and make 2 single crochet. Then we're gonna move over to the next square, and also again in this chain space make 2 single crochet, and then we're going to continue with single crochet into each stitch. Like this. And we're basically going to continue this until we reach again the beginning of the row, this part here. And the only thing that you should be aware of is that if you reach a part where you have a yarn like that you cut, that the yarn that you crochet like this, that the yarn is going to be on the back side, so you don't see it in the front side, and it will be also look much cleaner later when you are weaving in the yarns, that you do it automatically in the back side. Also the knot will be on the back side. Yes, that's it. So basically you're gonna finish until you reach the beginning of the row, and then I'm gonna show you how to continue. I now reached the beginning of the row. I finished here with 2 single crochet into this chain space, and then I'm going to insert the hook into the first single crochet from the row and make a slip stitch. Now we're going to make this row here, this one, and this is basically a 1 row of double crochet with a space in between. So basically we're always going to skip 1 stitch. So we're going to start off with 4 chains. So I chained 4. Now I'm going to turn my work, and now I'm going to skip 1 stitch and make a double crochet into the next one. Then we're going to chain 1, skip 1 stitch and a double crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 stitch and double crochet into the next. And we're going to continue doing this until we reach the end of the row. We don't need here a stitch marker, since it's very easy to see where we started the row. And yes, you're gonna continue as well, and then I'm gonna meet you at the beginning and I'm gonna show you how to continue. So I now reached the end of the row, or the beginning of the round, and here we can see where we did our first 4 chains. I'm going to insert my hook into the chain space take the yarn, pull through and make a slip stitch. And now we are going to make the front and the back part. This here is the front part and this is the back part. Let's start with the back part. So basically, as you can see, the back part is from one corner of one flower to the next one. So along two flowers only. So basically what we're going to do is to continue making double crochets with always one space in between, but we're going to make decreases along the way. We're going to start off by making 4 chains. We're going to turn our work and then we're going to make the same thing that we did before, just we're going to finish off here. So we're going to make a double crochet into this stitch here. So we're not going to make this double crochet into the chain space, but into the double crochet of the previous row. Then we're going to chain 1 and double crochet into the stitch of the double crochet of the previous row. And we're going to continue like this until we reach here the end of the second square. So I now reached the end of the row, and if you want to count, I made a total of 27 double crochets. For the next row we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to turn our work and then we're going to repeat exactly the same thing for the next 3 rows. So basically a total of 27 double crochet. Don't forget to always make a chain in between, and you're gonna continue until you reach this part here. And this part here, the end, I'm going to show you again how to finish off the row, and then you will have made 1 row and then you have 2 more rows to do. So I now reached the end of the row, and here you can see I have 1 more stitch left. I made 26 double crochets, so I have 1 more left. So I'm going to chain 1 and then I'm going to make a double crochet by inserting the hook simply into the chain space like this, and then I'm going to chain 4, turn my work and repeat the same thing for 2 more rows. So double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet. So we're going to continue for the next 2 rows, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. So I now reached the end of the row, and now it's time to make the decreases in order to obtain this shape here. So what we're basically doing is to decrease 1 stitch, 1 double crochet at each corner. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, and we're not going to insert our hook into this next stitch here, but into this one. We're simply going to skip 1 double crochet. And then we're going to continue as we did in the previous rows. And then we're going to make one more decrease at the end of the row, but for that I'm going to show you when we reach the end of the row. So I reached almost the end of the row. I have 2 more double crochets left, as you can see, but instead of making 1 double crochet into each one, I'm just going to make 1. And here I chained 1, but we're not going to chain 1 at the end of the row, so we're immediately going to make a double crochet into this stitch here. And now we should have a total of 25 double crochet in this row, so we decreased 2 double crochet. And for the next row we're going to repeat the same thing, so we are going to chain 3, turn our work, and then we're not going to insert our hook here, we're going to skip this one and insert our hook into this one and make a double crochet. Then we're going to chain 1 and continue making our double crochets, chain 1 and double crochet. And basically we're going to do that until we reach the end of the row, and at the end of the row we're going to do the same decrease as we did here. So I reached the end of the row. I have 2 more double crochets left. I'm not going to make the chain, but I'm going to directly make a double crochet in here, and like this we made again 2 decreases, which means we have here 23 double crochets. And now we're going to continue to make these decreases for the next 4 rows, which means in the next row we're going to have a total of 21 double crochet, then it's gonna be 19, then the next one 17, and the last row, which is this row here, we're going to make only 15 double crochet. So you're going to continue making these decreases, and then I'm gonna meet you when we reached the end of the 4th row. I now made the next 4 rounds or rows, and the last row has exactly 15 double crochet, and we obtained this shape here. It still looks a little bit different from the finished product because at the end we're going to make a border, so don't worry about that. What we're going to do now are the shoulder laces, and in order to make the shoulder laces we're just simply going to chain 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and continue until you reach 50 chains. I made now 50 chains, and now we're going to crochet back, and we are going to crochet back in slip stitches. So basically we're going to insert our hook into the first chain from the row, take the yarn, pull it through, and pull it through also the other loop on the hook. Insert into the next loop, take the yarn and pull it through. And we're going to do that as soon as you reached, as soon as you made the first 3 slip stitches, you can hold here with your thumb and middle finger or ring finger, it depends on how you crochet, and then you can, it's much faster, so you just go and pull through both like this. Insert, take the yarn and pull through in one time. So you're gonna continue this until you reach here, and then I'm gonna show you how to continue. So I now reached here, the end of this first shoulder lace, and now we're going to crochet along the way, single crochet, and then as soon as we reach the other part, the opposite part, we're going to make the other shoulder lace. So basically we're going to make one single crochet into each stitch, in order that it's easier. You can always like insert the hook here where the chain space is into the chain space, and then here into the stitch, then into the chain space, and then into the stitch. So you're going to continue until you reach the opposite side, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. So I now reached the end of the row, and now I'm going to simply make again 50 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, and continue until you reach 50. And then you're going to repeat the same thing that you did on this side. So basically you're gonna make 50 chains, crochet back in slip stitches until you reach again the beginning, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. So I now reached again the beginning of the row, and now in order to save yarn and avoid having to cut off the yarn and edit and weave in yarns over and over again, because we already have to weave in so many, we are going to already make one part of the border. So basically, let me show you on the finished product. So we have here one border. We're going to continue here until here, and we're going to do the border until the part where we need to start making the front part. So basically we're gonna do single crochet along the way, and then when we reach this part here where the squares are, we're gonna make single crochet along one square until the end, and then we need to start making the front part. In order to do that, here on the sides we are going to insert the hook into the chain space. So 1, and then I'm going to make one more single crochet. So basically 2 single crochet into this chain space, and then go directly into the next chain space and make again 2 single crochet. Continue to the next one, 2 single crochet, and so on. So basically 2 single crochet in each chain space. So here you go. It already looks much cleaner, as you can see. And now we reached, basically this is the part where the armpit is. So here we're going to make 1 single crochet into each stitch. So here we have again a chain space, so it's easier to make the single crochet into the chain space, and here we're going to insert the hook into the stitch. So chain space and stitch. And you're going to continue this until you reach this part here, and then we're going to start making the front part. So as you can see, this is the front part, and also this part is going from 1 square until the next one, so 2 squares, And here, like, we managed to do all the back side and coming to the front side in one cut, let's say, but here we do have to eventually cut off the yarn, but more on that later. So for now we arrived at this part here. So at this part here we're going to start making double crochets. So here we crochet along the armpit. This one here is the armpit, and now we arrived at the front part. So I made my last single crochet into the chain space, and now we're going to make a double crochet into this stitch here. And now we're going to basically do the same thing as we did here. So we're going to chain one and double crochet into the next stitch. We're gonna leave one stitch and make a double crochet exactly over the double crochet that we did in the previous row. So chain one and double crochet, chain one and double crochet, chain one and double crochet. And this we're going to continue until we reach this part here, and then I'm gonna meet you here and we'll show you how to continue. So I now reached the end where the second square finishes, so I crochet double crochet along until here. So along the first square and then the next square. And here we are not going to continue with the front part first. First we're going to continue here making the border. So basically we're going to insert our hook into the chain space and make a single crochet. Insert the hook into the stitch, make one other single crochet, and continue this pattern along until we reach the back part. So we are making single crochet along the opposite side of the armpit, which in my case, the size that I'm doing is exactly the size of one square. And then as soon as we reach the part where the back part starts, we're going to crochet along the border here. I'm gonna show you one more time how I did this part here. So at the meantime, we're going to crochet until we reach the beginning of the back side. I now reached the beginning of this back part here, and now we're going to still make single crochets, but we're going to make the single crochets, 2 single crochets into each chain space, exactly how we did at the opposite side. So 1, 2, then move over to the next chain space, 1, 2. Actually, it's not a chain space, these are the double crochets, always the first double crochet of the row, but I call it just like a space. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to continue this until we reach this part here where the shoulder lace is, and actually then we have to just make a slip knot and cut off the yarn. I reached now where we have this shoulder lace, so we are going to insert our hook into the stitch and I make one more single crochet, a slip stitch and a slip knot, and then we're going to cut off the yarn and pull through. So this part here, the back part, looks already pretty clean. And now we're going to continue with the front part. We're gonna take our yarn, and with the front part we're already going to start making decreases right from this row here. So we're going to insert our yarn into the chain space here where we started to make the double crochets. We're going to make a knot, and then we're going to chain. We're gonna take our yarn and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now we're going to make a, since we're going to already make the decrease, we're not going to make the single crochet into here, like the double crochet into here, but we're going to skip 1 double crochet. So 1 double crochet in here, then we're going to chain 1 and make 1 more double crochet into the next one, chain 1 and 1 more double crochet into the next one. We're going to continue this pattern until we reach this part here, and then like here we have 2 more double crochets left. So make sure to stop here, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. We have 2 more double crochets left. So here I did 1 double crochet into the stitch, and instead of making 1 chain in between as we did in the previous double crochets, we're just going to immediately make a double crochet, insert it into the stitch, and finish off making the double crochet. In the first row here of the front part we have 28 double crochets, and in the second one 26, sorry. So always -2 in each row, and we did now 2 rows, so we're going to make a total of 5 rows before we're going to change what we're doing. So basically in each row you're going to decrease 2 double crochet, 1 at each side. So we did 2 rows, 3 more rows left. We're going to chain 3. We're going to turn our work, and now we're going to skip this one and make a double crochet into the next one. Now first decrease, then chain 1, and continue making double crochets along the way. We've always chain 1 and skip 1 stitch until you reach the end of the row. Like, you're going to continue doing the same thing, always double crochet and chain 1 until you reach the part here where you have still 2 more double crochets left, because on this part here, after doing the double crochet into here, you're going to not make a chain but immediately 1 more double crochet into here, and then you're going to start all over again. So you're going to continue making this for the next 3 rows, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. I now finished making the 5th row of the front part, and now we're going to make these parts here, as you can see. And for that we have to do 1 part first and then make the shoulder lace and then do the next part. So let me show you how to make the first part. So now when we're doing this part, now we actually finished making decreases on the outside here. So we're going to still make decreases on the inside. So this side here, it's still going to be decreases, but more on that later. So, and also in this part here, I did triple crochet. As you can see, these are triple crochet, they are higher, but I'm going to continue making double crochets for this part here. So we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The reason why we chain 4 here is because we're not going to make a decrease on this side, so this one chain counts as a chain and the other 3 chains count as our double crochet. So now we're going to yarn over and make a double crochet right into the next double crochet. Next we're going to chain 1 and make again a double crochet. So basically the same thing as we did in the previous rows, but we are going to make a total of 9 double crochets. So we did 1, 2, 3, and we need to make 6 more double crochets. So 4, 5, 6. We're always going to make a chain in between. 7, 8, and 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we need to cancel the 9th one because I forgot that on this side we're going to make the decrease, and whenever we do a decrease we are not going to chain 1 for the last one. So no chain, I remove the chain here and directly a double crochet into this 9th stitch, or like 9th double crochet. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn our work, skip this one here and make the double crochet into this one. Chain 1, double crochet, 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 and chain 1 and double crochet. I like to make the last double crochet into the chain space, it's just easier and it doesn't make a big difference. So as you can see here at this part here we didn't do any decrease, only on this part here, and that's why we have 8 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for the next row we're going to chain 4, turn our work and make immediately a double crochet into the next stitch here. Sorry, into the previous double crochet. The next stitch is always this stitch here in the chain space, but we're not making any, like we're not crocheting into these ones here since we're going to make a niche pattern. So now we're going to chain 1 and continue as we did before. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, no chain but directly 1 double crochet here as we're doing the decrease. So we have 7 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to continue this for the next few rows until we have only 2 more double crochets in 1 row left. So you're gonna continue making this and then I'm gonna show you how to continue. So I arrived here where at the row where we have 3 double crochets, so I'm going to show you how to make the next row. So we're going to chain 3, turn our work, and just make one more double crochet into this chain space here. And now we have the last row where we have only 2 double crochets. And next we are simply going to make the shoulder laces, which is exactly the same thing as we did here in this row of the at the back side. So basically chain 50 and then return by making slip stitches until you reach again the beginning of the row. So I'm going to do that, you're going to do that as well, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. I now finished making the shoulder lace, so I crocheted 50 chains and then went back with slip stitches, sorry. And now we are going to make the other part and the opposite side, and for that we're also again going to make the border. And the border we are going to make the same thing as we did with the back part, so single crochet into each double crochet from the beginning here. So 2 single crochets, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you're going to continue this basically until you reach the 5th row of the front part, which is the row where before we started making this part here, so it's this one here. So here, and now we're going to make single crochets along this row here until here. So basically I counted, in order to make exactly the same size as we did at this part here, I did 9 double crochets here, so I have to do 9 here as well. So basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to make double crochets until here. A single crochet, sorry, first of all, single crochet. So 1 single crochet into the chain space, 1 here, 1 into the chain space, 1 into the stitch, and 1 more into the chain space, and then we're going to make a double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We're going to continue until we reach the end of the row, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. Here I did 7 double crochets, and I just wanted to show you that we're not going to make decreases on this side here, so we're going to chain 1, double crochet into here, and as we did on this side here, chain 1 more and double crochet into the chain space in this case here. It's just easier. You can also double crochet into the chain. So now we're going to chain 4, since we're not making decreases on this side here, turn our work and just continue doing exactly the same thing as we did here. So we are not doing decreases on this part here, but always on this part. I reached the final row where I have only 2 more double crochets left, and now we're going to do again the shoulder part, the shoulder lace. So let's make the shoulder lace, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. I finished making the shoulder lace of this part as well. So this is the front part, we're finished, and now we do have to make the borders. And as you can see, we need to make a border here until this part here, here until this part here, and here as well. So you can decide if you want to start making the border this way, cut off, insert the yarn here or here, make the border on this part, and then cut off again and make this border. It doesn't matter where you want to start, just make these 3 borders so we have all the borders, and then I'm going to show you how to make the skirt. I now finished making all the borders. Once you weave in all the leftover yarns, it will look much cleaner, so don't worry. And now we're going to make the, let's say, bodice part and skirt. So basically what I did is I continued making a mesh pattern around the body part, and then for the skirt I decided to make like just normal crochet, so that, you know, it's a little bit more coverage, and then for the last few rows I made again a mesh part. And as for the mesh part here, I'm going to make triple crochet. But before we're going to start making the mesh part, we're going to add one more round of double crochets without chain spaces. So basically what we're going to do is to, first of all, attach our yarn. We're going to attach the yarn at the back side. So let's see, this is the front part. So turn around and attach the yarn here. You can attach it here or on the side. I prefer it to have it on the back side here. We're gonna take the yarn. I'm starting to crochet on the front. So take the yarn and chain 3. Now I'm going to chain one more. I'm going to make one more double crochet into this chain space here, which are the corners of the squares here. So in the corners of the squares I'm always going to make 2 double crochet, and then always 1 double crochet into each stitch. So as I just said, you continue with double crochets into each stitch, 2 double crochet into this chain space, 2 double crochet into this chain space, and then continue. And then you're going to make this crochet along until you reach again the beginning of the row, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. I now reached the end of the row. I made 2 last double crochets into this chain space here, and then we're going to end up the row by inserting the hook into the double crochet of the beginning of the row, make a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 5. 1 2 3 4 5, as now we are going to make this mesh pattern, but this mesh pattern is made in triple crochet, so that's why chain 5. Usually when we make triple crochet, the first chains that count as the first triple crochet are 4 chains, but since we are going to make a mesh pattern, which means we're always going to make 1 chain in between and skip 1 stitch, that's why we're going to make 5. So we're gonna turn our work and then skip 1 stitch and make 1 triple crochet into the next stitch. So chain 1 and 1 triple crochet into the next stitch, chain 1 and 1 triple crochet into the next stitch. Sorry, we're always going to skip one stitch. So chain 1, skip 1 stitch, triple crochet into the next one. And we're going to continue this until we reach the end of the row, and then I'm going to show you how to continue. So I reached the end of the row. I'm going to make one more chain and then insert the hook into the chain space. You can also insert the hook into the chain, but I always prefer to do it like this. And then we're going to make the second row, which will be exactly the same thing as the previous row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn our work and make a triple crochet into the stitch. So we skip our stitch here, the chain space, and make 1 triple crochet, and we're going to continue chain 1, triple crochet, chain 1 and triple crochet. And we are going to continue making this, and I'm going to show you here on the finished dress how many rows I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically 6 rows of triple crochets, and these here are basically 17 double crochets. I'm telling you now how many I did because I'm not going to show you anymore how to make it, because it's pretty simple, and also because with this one here I'm not going to make a dress but a shirt. So the shirt will come out pretty nice, and because I don't want to have just 2 dresses, so I thought something different as well. So basically as soon as you make the last row of each pattern here, the triple crochets, we are going to end the row as we did usual, and then instead of making 5 chains to start off the next row, we're going to make 3 chains and then continue with double crochet without any chain space in between, as you can see here. And then after you made 17 double crochet, 17 rows of double crochet, we are going to make again this mesh pattern, which is exactly the same thing as we did here before. And here we're going to again first start with chain 5 and then make the triple crochet by always skipping 1 stitch in between and making 1 chain in between. And we are going to make, I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. You can make more or less depending on how long you want to have it. And then the last row is just 1 row of single crochet, same thing as we did for the borders. I hope you liked this crochet tutorial and that you were able to follow it. The last thing that I did is to insert these 2 beads. I still haven't fixed them, but I will fix them with a simple glue, the hot glue, but you can use any other type of glue that you have. But also if you don't want to add the beads or if you don't want to add the glue, it's your choice. I will just do it because I'm just afraid I will lose them, or Fanta will take them and put them into her mouth, and so like Fanta is my daughter. And so yes, that's the ending of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video where I will show you how to make the shirt. So stay tuned, and until next time.